afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wanda Lucan, and I'm the president of the Association of United Ukrainian Canadians, Welland branch. At this time, I'd like you all to stand for the national anthem. To our head table. When I call the name, please stand. First of all, Frank and Elizabeth Campion, and he is the mayor of Welland. Is he in attendance? No.
He'll be here.
Anyway, we do have a gentleman here, then a very important person. Bob Sachuk. Bob, will you please stand? He is the national president. He is the national president of the AUUC. Our next guests are Jerry Bobrowski and his wife. Jerry is the president of the AUC of the Toronto branch, and his wife, Bernadine Bobrowski, is recording secretary of the AUUC of the Toronto branch.
Jerry.
As well, I have the privilege of introducing a very important person in the Association of the United Ukrainian Canadians. That is Clara Babib. Clara is the vice president of the Association of the United Ukrainian Canadians in Welland. Also, she has been the coordinator for our celebration of the 100th anniversary. Clara?
No, I'm not Clara. Don't look anything like her. Clara has some problems with her eyesight. She asked me to read her speech for her. This is the first of two parts. Ukrainian immigration to Canada started in 1891 with the arrival in this country of Vasily Lenyak and Ivan Pilipiu. The immigrants were mostly farming people from Western Ukraine, then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Most of them came seeking a homestead on Canada's prairies. However, circumstances drove them to work in cities and towns, as well as various camps. Among those first arrivals, too, from the arrival of Kirill Ojenik in 1886 that should be, were people who had been politically active in Ukraine and considered themselves socialists. The first Ukrainians came to Welland sometime before 1910. Among those first arrivals, attracted by the growth of industry in Crowland, were members of the Federation of Ukrainian Social Democrats, which became the Ukrainian Social Democratic Party of Canada in January 1914. By 1913, there were enough members of the FUSD to organize a branch in this area, and by 1915, a branch of the USDP was formed, which lasted to 1918. Among the members were J. Dorozak, T. Kosurba, S. Prokop, J. Ivanchuk, W. Matejchuk, and J. Kovalishyn. They met in open areas like a space near the Plymouth cordage factory and another at the corner of Ontario Road and Deer Street. They also rented a room on 4th Street for meetings. In early 1917, Roboche Narod, that's the working people, reported plans to build a hall in the Crowland area, and later in the year printed an article appealing for funds to help build this first Ukrainian labor temple. The construction, done by volunteers, was completed in 1917, over a year earlier than the Ukrainian labor temple opened in Winnipeg. The hall became the center for social, cultural, and political activities. One of the first groups to be active in the new hall was a drama group, which staged several productions, including, in 1918, Ivan Franko's play Stolen Happiness. Active members included Peter Kovalishyn, Maria Fedorovich, Mykola Kharek, Yuri Nikiforuk, Maria Tsintsuruk, and Yakiv Pomeychuk. The Ukrainian Social Democratic Party was banned in September 25, 1918. However, members continued activities which included language schools and drama presentations. Choirs, dance groups, and orchestras were added later. Like most similar groups across Canada, the organization in Welland soon affiliated with the Ukrainian Labor Temple Association in Winnipeg, which became a national organization. The hall was located on 6th Street, close to railroad tracks and the Welland Canal. The noise from trains and ships frequently disrupted activities, especially drama presentations and concerts. Therefore, in 1926, the building was moved to its present location at Ontario Road and Beatrice Street. An added benefit of the move was that it brought the building closer to where most of the members lived. At its new location, the building was upgraded with a larger stage and a basement. Over the years, the building housed activities for the men's and women's branches, the youth section, sports clubs, dance schools, marching bands, orchestras, English language classes for adults, and Ukrainian language classes for children, drama in both English and Ukrainian, operettas, lectures, and public meetings. During the Great Depression of the 1930s, the Ukrainian Labor Temple, like ULTs across Canada, provided food and shelter for the unemployed, supported the work of organizations like the Labor Defense League of Canada, and provided space for unionized workers during strikes. During the Crowland Relief Strike of 1935, a strike by the unemployed in their struggle for relief, the Ukrainian Labor Temple was headquarters for the strikers. Following the strike, the building burned down with a fire with unknown causes. Members and friends rebuilt it, bigger and more convenient than before. The architect was Adrian Vandenberg, who later died in the Spanish Civil War. Supervising the construction was Yakiv Pomeychuk, who had also built the original hall. Many members of the Ukrainian Labor Temple helped workers or unionize, and many, like William Hunka, lost their jobs for this activity. When the government closed the ULT during World War II, by an order in council on June 8, 1940, the Ukrainian Labor Farmer Temple Association Choir and Orchestra in Welland rehearsed at All People's United Church and the Polish Hall. Though locked out of our hall, the Welland members supported Canada war bonds and war effort in many ways, including staging concerts to sell war bonds. Many of our members joined the armed forces, among them William Petrochenko, Mike and Alec Moskalik, and Bill Klipauka. After the war, with the Ukrainian Labor Farmer Temple Association resurrected as the Association of United Ukrainian Canadians, and our halls returned to us in 1945, we were active in the peace movement, the movement to ban nuclear weapons, and many movements for social causes. Our members in Welland were particularly active in municipal politics. Nick Zenchuk was a member of Crowland Council for over a decade, including a stint as deputy reeve. John Petrochenko was a school trustee for over 26 years. In 2005, the Ukrainian Labor Temple was designated a municipal heritage site. The ceremony included a performance by our orchestra and featured one of the last performances in public by tenor John Bokla. Active today at the Welland Ukrainian Labor Temple is the AUC Welland branch, the Shevchenko Senior Citizens Club, and the Welland Ukrainian Mandolin Orchestra. Many of these people and others are involved in the preparation and sale of pierogies every 2 weeks. Nick Petrochenko was branch president for many years. When ill health caused his retirement, Clara Babi assumed that role. About a year ago, Clara cut back to become vice president, and Wanda Lucan took on the branch leadership. Throughout its 100 years, the Welland AUC, housed in the Ukrainian Labor Temple, has been an active supporter of progressive causes. Today, it is widely respected for this history of struggle for the welfare of working people in Canada and around the world.
Thank you, Clara. The first number we're going to do is This Land Is Your Land. Wilfred and Margaret Card are going to do the honors with a duet. And I just looked up some information on this number, and it's interesting. The original lyrics for this song were written by American singer-songwriter Woody Guthrie. And he wrote the words in 1940 to an existing melody and stated that he wrote the lyrics because he was tired of hearing Kate Smith singing America the Beautiful. In 1955, a Canadian group called The Travelers adopted this song and wrote the words for the Canadian version. Interestingly, one of the founding members of The Travelers was Sid Dolgay, who was a longtime member of the Toronto Mandolin Orchestra. Musicians from the Toronto Mandolin Orchestra, of which 3 are here assisting us, will fondly remember Sid, who was a mandocello player with that orchestra. Here's This Land Is Your Land.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from Buena Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lakes waters. This land was made for you and me.
As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me.
The sun came shining and I was rolling, and the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling. As the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from Buena Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lakes waters. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from Buena Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lakes waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me.
and wealth. The next number is an instrumental arrangement of a Ukrainian folk song entitled Oi Hilya Hilya. Hilya is a call used for herding geese. The song itself has nothing to do with geese, but is really a love sweet tale. I first heard this piece of music on a CD of the Winnipeg Mandolin Quintet, directed by my good friend Myron Shatulski. I asked Myron for his arrangement, which he kindly sent to me. I reorchestrated it, and here is Oi Hilya Hilya.
next song, written by Bob Dylan in 1962, was released on his album Freewheelin' Bob Dylan in 1963. In 1994, it was ranked number 14 on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. One of the monumental tunes of the 1960s protests, it combines major themes of the time, peace and civil rights. Here is Blowin' in the Wind. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? Yes, and how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blown in the wind. The answer is blown in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist before it's washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head, pretending he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blown in the wind. The answer is blown in the wind. How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blown in the wind. The answer is blown in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blown in the wind. The answer is blown in the wind. At this time, I'd like to call on our national president, Bob Sachek, to deliver a message from the National Committee.
Thank you. I look around the room and it looks like a sellout. Isn't that wonderful? To the members of the Welland AUC branch, past and present, orchestra members, past and present, invited guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a great pleasure and an honor to attend this wonderful event. Thank you to the AUC Welland Branch Executive for the invitation. On behalf of the National Committee of the Association of United Ukrainian Canadians, I bring greetings and congratulations on the occasion of the 100th anniversary of this Ukrainian Labor Temple in this, the 150th year of Canadian Confederation. I will not talk specifically about this hall, others will do that, but I would like to give you some information about the Association of United Ukrainian Canadians, the AUC, its formation, and some of our significant future events. We're here in this building, which has been declared a historic site by the city of Welland. This hall is not as old as Canada, but we are here in 2017 to celebrate the 100th anniversary. Quite an achievement, I think. If the walls could talk, we would be amazed by the interesting history here. The building is the result of the efforts of new Ukrainian immigrants from Eastern Europe. Arriving in the early 1900s, they, working in harmony, built this labor temple by contributing volunteer labor, time, and effort. And over a few years, others did the same in dozens of other cities and towns in Ontario and across Canada. In those early years, the Canadian government was recruiting people to emigrate to Canada to populate the great, sparsely populated spaces. Starting in 1891, which is the accepted date of the first official arrival of Ukrainians to Canada, thousands arrived from Eastern Europe. Most could not speak English. All were landed immigrants in a strange land. Most came with very little except a huge desire to succeed. They needed gathering places, and with the help of other immigrants who had been members of the Ukrainian Social Democratic Party in Europe, they organized themselves. This hall started life as a meeting and gathering place for members and supporters of the transplanted Ukrainian Social Democratic Party. Just a moment ago, I mentioned future events. Well, the anniversary celebrations for the AUC will stretch over 3 years, starting now in 2017, with this concert and banquet in the Welland AUC Labor Temple. In 1918 in Winnipeg, a similar chain of events occurred. Local members of the Ukrainian Social Democratic Party organized a Labor Temple Association. They collected money time and time again and eventually started construction of a large hall. It was completed in 1919. The Ukrainian Labor Temple Association was the original name of the AUC, and it was organized in 1918. That was the origin of the AUUC. In 1925, the name changed to the Ukrainian Labor Farmer Temple Association. Then after a few years, to the Association of United Ukrainian Canadians. In a few years later to the Association of Ukrainian Canadians, and in 1948 to the Association of United Ukrainian Canadians. In 2018, the AUC will be celebrating 100 years of existence, along with the Winnipeg Labor Temple, which, by the way, also has recognition as a significant historic site. A couple of years ago, that building in Winnipeg was designated a National Historic Site by the federal government. It already had recognition as a provincial site as well as a civic historic site. The construction of meeting places for these immigrants was not restricted to large centers. In Ontario alone, there were upwards of 30 Labor Temple locations. Welland, St. Catharines, Thorold, Leamington, Kitchener, Windsor, Windsor East, Brantford, London, Hamilton, Oshawa, West Toronto, Toronto, Fort William, Port Arthur, Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, Timmins, Kirkland Lake, and more. These labor temples and the philosophy surrounding them became the home away from home for hundreds and hundreds of first and second wave immigrants, and became the focus of Ukrainian culture and worker, farmer, social, and political activism. Most locations had at least a mixed choir or a drama group. Some had an orchestra, others a folk dance group, or some combination of all four. Here in Welland, the orchestra, which we heard, has been performing for years and years. It has a well-respected reputation in the community as well as within the AUC as a core cultural group, and has been involved in many AUC national festivals as well as numerous civic events. The AUC celebrations will continue into 2019 as 100 years ago in Winnipeg, In 1919, the newly organized Labor Temple Association and the just completed Ukrainian Labor Temple became involved in what is known as the historic Winnipeg General Strike, the only general strike ever in Canada. It lasted only a couple of weeks, but the city was totally shut down. It really was a general strike, as almost all wage workers were in support, including the city police, the firefighters, streetcar drivers, and mechanics, including all industry and clerical workers. At that time, there were none of the social benefits or the social safety net which we now enjoy. The strike was organized by the Winnipeg Trades and Labor Council in an attempt to win improvement in general working conditions. The Winnipeg Ukrainian Labor Temple, even though it was not the strike committee's headquarters, was one of the central meeting places for the strikers. Theirs was a fight for social justice and an attempt to change the working conditions for all. This was and remains one of the original founding principles of the AUC and its earlier manifestations. The Winnipeg AUC Ukrainian Labor Temple is the only surviving hall that had a direct part in those historic events and is still in use today. Quite a history, I think, and something to celebrate. The AUC is a national fraternal association with members and branches in 6 Canadian provinces. All will hold events such as concerts, banquets, street parties, and such to celebrate 100 years of existence. Welland starts us off with today's event. Once again, congratulations to the members in Welland for their efforts to maintain this building, along with the folk orchestra, as well as maintaining an active branch. It has not been easy with an aging membership base in a 100-year-old building. But good news, there will be financial assistance coming to the branch from the National AUC Treasury. Thank you to all who volunteered their countless hours and great effort to keep things going in Welland. It is recognized and greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Very enlightening. This next number is an instrumental version of a traditional Ukrainian folk song entitled "Rozprягайте хлопці коні," or "Unharness the Horses, Lads." The song is an unhappy love story, a young lad being rejected by the girl he loves. Here's "Rozprягайте хлопці коні."
clad in autumn gold, the singer asks. Though the springtime of my life is gone, I still love as I did in my youth. Autumn Gold, Осіннє золото in Ukrainian, was written by Ukrainian composer Ihor Shamo with lyrics by Dmytro Lutsenko. We got this song from the Hilka choir of the Toronto AEUC, for which we thank them. Осіннє золото. Багряний лист, як цвіт кружля, шумлять отави молодо, чого лягла земля, ясне осіннє золото, втрачав гаю верба густа, листки зелено румнисті, а я гублю ясні літа своєї юності. Літа на зиму повернули, пливуть в осінні хмурості, а я люблю, люблю, як в юності. Пора весни до мене знов не вернеться із вирію щасливих днів, п'янку любов, як пісню серця вимрію. Багряний цвіт в гаю кружля, шумлять отави молодо, чого ж тягла земля осіннє золото. Літа на зиму повернули, пливуть в осінні мудрості, а я люблю, як в юності. Літа на зиму повернули, пливуть в осінні хмурості, а я люблю, як в юності. Our next song is called Czerwona Ruta. Tell me where you got those charms. The boy says to the girl, you don't need magic potions, for you have been the only one in my dreams for a long time. Red Rue, Czerwona Ruta in Ukrainian, was written by Ukrainian singer-songwriter Volodymyr Ivasyuk in 1968. Performed by the group Smerichka, the song won the title USSR Song of the Year at the 1971 Television Song Festival competition in Moscow. It was never copyrighted and is considered a Ukrainian folk song. We got this song too from the Hilka choir of the Toronto AUC. Czerwona Ruta.